Well, what other bunch of loonies would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to ride 100 miles on penny-farthings? Only members of the Southern Veteran Cycle Club. And we're doing this basically to celebrate our Silver Jubilee year. The club was formed in 1955. And incidentally, they're not penny-farthings. The proper name is ordinaries or high wheelers.
Pay attention very, very carefully. We've got a schedule of 7 miles an hour. There's no medals for the first person in Coventry. In fact, the first person that gets to Coventry has to wash all the sweaty t-shirts. Okay? Take your time. There's plenty of food en route. It's going to be well marked. On your bike.
Oh, good luck. Good luck. Ride safely, that's the main thing.
Good on you.
Cheers, Peter. Get out. All the best. Keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I'll have a key ready in case you come back.
All right. You right. Yeah, well, they're covered. A good similarity.
Although most of us are on ordinaries, the penny-farthings, some of the riders are on these smaller machines called bantams, but all the cycles are about 90 years old. This in fact is going to be a group ride. By no means is it going to be a race. We want all 28 of the riders to get there to Coventry this evening.
Pretty good. All fairly close together. Nice riding with us.
At 7 miles an hour, it should take us about 14 hours, which means that sometime after 7 o'clock tonight we'll be there. Prospects are good, and to help us along the weather's good too.
It couldn't have been better really. We've got the wind coming from behind basically. It looks as if it's going to be fairly dull, which means it's not going to get too hot. And if it rains we can cape up. So all the praying that I've been doing for the last 12 months has come to fruition, I think. All clear. Watch out for the big wagon. Watch out, lorry.
Watch out, lorry!
Up, lorry! Come on, move it. This man. We've got this planned. What's that blooming guy doing?
It's only a few more miles to the first stop now anyway.
What do you get at the first stop?
Oh!
Breakfast, the magic gold life, bit of oil on the machines and the second mat.
I don't know.
Moriturus te saluto.
It seems as if everything's going too well. I'll probably fall off around the corner or something. We're about 3 miles out the first stop now. Yeah. You get some coffee and some breakfast.
Well, they got a back.
This is the first of 7 stops that we shall have at about 15-mile intervals. Here the riders will get food and drink, and we can sort out any minor problems that they might have. We're also going to give them maps for the next section, and if they've got any mechanical problems they can be attended to now so that they remain minor.
Brown ones are coffee, but some are black and some are white.
Can we swallow the bag again?
This doesn't look at all like
Morgan.
Doesn't look at all like Coventry, you know.
No, it's...
So one last day time.
No, I forgive up.
Oxford AM. Every weekday morning from 6 until 8:30.
Leave it at that, shall we?
Now where's the guy from Radio Oxford? There he is. Tony, see if you can find out what's happened to the programmes, will you? Alright.
Right.
Can we talk through the bun or not?
Hello there. I'm ready to go.
Not yet, you know. I'm still going to mouth with the bun. Up until now we've ridden together, but after the first stop we're going to break up into smaller groups.
This group, we're mainly sort of people on small machines, sort of the 44-inch or a 48-inch diameter front wheel. So we're basically on the same inch gear, and it makes it easier because then we basically do it at the same pace. Makes it a lot easier.
Not only is this a test for riders, it's also a test for their machines. One of our group leaders, Tony Lane, has got problems with his spokes on his 56-inch wheel.
I might phone for another spoke later on if it starts to play up even more. I don't mind one gone, mind you, when you get them sort of pinging all over the place. There's a lad further back who's got more gone than that.
The people probably with the hardest job are the caterers. They have to clear up after the group has left and then get past all of the riders to be ready at the next stop when they want more food and drink.
Well, they've had cakes for their first stop, and they've got more cakes this time, Danish pastries and Chelsea buns, cups of coffee and tea, and a bit of Gold Life, a glucose drink, to give them some energy to keep them going, Mars bars and things like that. Lunchtime's a bigger meal. They're having some chicken and cheese and salad, all things hopefully that will give them energy and keep them going. At the moment they should still be feeling fairly fit. Just this afternoon when we get to the end.
One of the riders, who's been with the club for 25 years, is in fact the oldest in today's event. Derek Roberts, who's not sure if he's going to finish the 100 miles ride.
Ask me at 95 miles. It doesn't matter if I don't really. It's you know, we've got to the Silver Jubilee, which is sufficient reward for me, even if I pass out halfway along the way. Not that I intend to.
Next stop's going to be Evenly, a beautiful little village green where they play cricket in the middle on a Sunday.
What's this? Oh, there's nothing there. Just get on in the middle. Can we borrow in a moment?
One of the most important members of the backup team is Kevin Magic Hands McHugh.
It's right in here.
He's our master, and in fact he'll help a lot of people over some minor problems today.
Oh, it hurts every time I press down on it.
So what can you do for her, Kevin?
Well, hopefully just keep the area fairly warm, promote a little bit of blood flow into the tendon and the muscle, try and take away the pain. A bit of massage as well will help disperse any lactic acid and waste product in the area. Basically, amputation at the neck is the real cure.
Diane Farris is one of the 6 Americans who've joined us for this special event, and the man with the most experience in century rides is John Vander Pol.
It all began with me when I was in the Pentagon, and I was a lieutenant colonel, and lieutenant colonels are so far from their office that I decided to ride a bicycle. And then I got introduced to some people that had some old bicycles, and finally there was just nothing for me except I had to have an ordinary. And I finally found one, and I joined that kind of a club.
It was the American wheelmen who established the idea of the century ride, exactly 100 miles in the day.
They're soft over there. They always have the races, or rides rather, usually in Ohio or someplace like that, where it's flat as a billiard table, and still half the people don't finish.
I like the idea of going from one place to another, not just making a circuit and ending up where you started. It makes you feel like you went somewhere, and then if people say, well, where did you go on the century? You can say, well, I rode from near Oxford to Coventry, and they'll look on a map and think that's fantastic.
Oxford to Coventry isn't 100 miles, so we've had to work out an indirect route, which incidentally takes in some of the best countryside that you could wish to see. And I feel sure our American visitors will appreciate this. We only passed through one major town, and that's Brackley. All the rest of the time we're on very minor roads.
We're on schedule. In fact, we're in advance of schedule, and really the only thing we need now is some toilets.
Most of us have been riding these machines for many years, and I suppose you could say that some of us look even older than the machines, but 13-year-old Dane Werdnam didn't learn to ride until just 6 weeks ago.
Well, it was my dad which originally got involved, and I just sort of tagged along, and I thought I liked it, so I knew there was a century coming up, so I decided I'd have a go.
We're coming up now to the 40-mile spot, which is just up the road here. And this is where we get just the toe of the Cotswolds to deal with, and it's you're going to see them hanging down over the handlebars to climb the hills, and it's going to start getting hard from there on, but fortunately that only lasts for about 12 to 14 miles, and then we get out onto another fairly straightforward section. I don't need many more of them. Riding up hills presents a real problem. It's hard work, we don't have any gears.
it's really where you begin to understand that our forefathers, the Victorian cyclists, were really hard men. They had terrible road surfaces, and a lot of other road users weren't at all kind to them. And of course, 100 miles in a day was nothing at all to them. It was a regular occurrence. We're making a big deal out of it.
Bit tough, I won't get in there.
That's not too bad.
It's kinder to the penny, not to ride up all the hills.
Waiting for our leaders.
Well, see if I can catch him.
The lunch stop at a little village called Preston Capes is 45 miles now. We've got 5 miles to do for the halfway mark, but one or two of the riders are beginning to feel one or two little problems.
Well, better late than never. It's, I'm just feeling pulling, but I'd rather have it done now. He advised me to have it done now instead of later.
Fatigue is accumulating now. We're getting into rather hilly country, which is giving them a little bit more work to do, as opposed to the flatter stage early on. And some of them are feeling it a little bit in the legs. But I think if they look after themselves properly, take it easy and just pace themselves out, they should get there all okay tonight.
I had a slight cramp when I was descending the hill. It suddenly pulled up, but I've got it all fixed now from the masseur.
How you feeling?
Okay, I'll be glad when we're past the halfway mark.
Steep downhills are a major problem. If the machine begins to get away from you, in other words goes too fast, your only possible chance is to ditch it, and this of course will mean a damaged machine or rider. You don't know what you're going to find at the bottom of the hill or even halfway down, so the safest and sensible thing to do is to get off at the top and walk. Loose chippings, of course, create real problems. They stick to the tyre with a freshly laid tar, and they can jam between the forks and pitch you over the handlebars. Steep hills, steep downhills, of course, the whole thing is exaggerated tremendously.
John's had quite a nasty fall, Kevin. He's okay, but he's a bit shaken up. Yeah, capable. He's only just. I don't know whether he can get back on again, but. John's had quite a nasty fall, John. John's had a nasty fall. Yeah.
On that hill?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
I just about got off and he was right behind me.
You know, what do they think I've put caution steep hill for? And the bloody council puts a 10 in one bloody gradient.
Where's the medic?
He was here a couple of minutes ago.
Where's he gone?
He was in the car, went to fetch you. Would you like to just sit down for a minute?
No, if you just wrap my wrist up.
Yeah, well, he'll be here in a minute. Would you like
Thick-flanted.
to sit down?
No.
Go here, and then we go on to a fourth map.
No, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, no, this is a problem.
Well, come and sit down and I'll
wrap my wrist.
minister unto you.
If you just stiffen my wrist up.
Sure.
Don't worry about my face. Wrap my wrist so that I can...
John, you want another hot tea or anything?
No, I don't know. You can just wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap and make it just rigid.
How did this accident happen, John?
Oh, hell, just stupid, you know. I got careless on that hill and used a little too much brake. I was just about to get off, you know. I saw it was going to be a bad hill, and I just, the last second.
It'll take about 6 hours to get all this off tonight.
You going to be okay for the rest of the ride, John?
Well, I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure going to give it a go.
Regretful incidents like that have a real effect on the rest of the riders. First and foremost, they're upset for the injured party's sake, but they also realise that it could just as easily have been them themselves. Regretfully, John is unable to rejoin us. He's been taken off to hospital by one of the road crew, and we hope he'll be okay later on. Turning onto the Foss Way, you expect to find a dead straight flat road. That's what it looks like on the maps, but certainly not in practice. And of course it's very, very popular with the holiday makers on a Friday evening. We've passed the 75 miles post, but it's not too late in the day to suffer from cramp, something that you can do nothing at all about. If it gets you in the leg or in the foot, you just have to get off your machine as best you can and suffer it.
Oh, it's not coming again.
You sure it's any crap?
Yes,
Done it before?
Yeah. Best bet probably is to walk on it.
I was going to say, can you stand on it?
Yeah, I think I probably can if you give me a hand up. Oh! Yeah, no, I'll be okay. That's going all right.
Very, very good. It's at the top.
I've been on the beer, because that's one of the sides.
On such a busy road, you'd expect any accidents to involve other road users, but in fact there are other sorts of accidents as well.
Oh, I ran into a barbed wire fence.
No, it jumped down.
Actually, it jumped out in front of me.
How are your legs at the moment? Because you're having trouble with them earlier on, weren't you?
A little sore, but they're hanging in there. I'll make it.
Well, despite the traffic and the hills and all the other things that have been set before us, the pace, incredibly, is starting to hot up.
20 miles or so.
At the last stop, which is barely 10 miles out of Coventry, support crew are checking out all the riders to be absolutely sure that they're all fit, not only physically and able to make the ride into Coventry, but also mentally fit as well.
Well, just they're so tired. And it's busy roads into Coventry, especially this time of night. So we've got to make sure that they're still looking as if they're going to be able to look after themselves. At one time I thought they were going to have other cyclists, but there's nobody else here at the moment. So they're just got to watch with the traffic. Don't want any accidents on this last bit. When they've got this far, they've got to get to the end.
I was up front having some fun, and Bob Jones and I were just flying along, and we came to a hill, and I decided to get off and walk. And I said to Jones, I'll bet Tomlinson's going to pull this hill. And here he comes, right on up. And Pinkerton right behind him.
You went flying past me down there.
I'm pretty confident that I can make it, I think. Because I think we've done the hardest bit.
Right. The pace has increased, hasn't it?
Yes, everybody's increased because we're getting near the finish now. And they're all wanting to get there first.
Well, I had two reasons deciding I had to finish. First of all, the youngest rider was going to finish, therefore the oldest rider must finish to maintain discipline. And secondly, I had strict orders from Pinky that I was to finish. What can you do?
Sure, but we knew that he would.
Feeling a bit of pain at the back of my legs, but apart from that, I think I should make it.
We're going to crawl in there with the box on the backs if we have to.
I'm into feet.
This is Mick Ives and some of the guys from the Midlet Coventry Olympic Cycling Club, and they've offered, after I twisted his arm, to come and lead us through the traffic into Coventry, because we don't know Coventry that well.
Pilot them in.
Yeah, and it's always a lot better if we've got somebody who knows exactly where to go. On the last leg of this event, the riders themselves have decided to form up into one group. So it certainly isn't a race for the first man into Coventry. Of the 28 starters, 2 won't make it. John Vander Pol has gone to hospital. 1 other has had mechanical problems. But here are 22 riding in procession to the finish. The other 4 are somewhere off the back, but we know they're okay, and they'll be with us later on this evening. Well, here's the ring road at last. Come on, Dane. South and west. There's the city centre, Dane. The cathedral spire, bombed during the war. Coventry's a city of 3 spires. There's a museum right through there, where they've got the big collection of bicycles. There's the hotel up on the hill, you see it? Well, there's only one, look with the hotel sign on. The one just slightly to the right there. Yeah.
Well, it's nearly 8 o'clock and we've been on the road for nearly 15 hours. But we've almost done it. The Godiva Hotel over there is the finishing point. What makes us particularly proud is that we're the first veteran cycle club to have completed a century in this country this century.
Here's the boys. Is that for me, is it? Hey? She's too busy looking at the other people. That's great. There's only one slight problem. I'm on the wagon at the moment. Good.
We've done it.
Well, you were first across the line. Well,
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes, I'm going to show him. Give it to him when he's ready.
Oh, come on. We gotta have 2 broken bones in the wrist and 4 broken ribs. Well, I gave it a go, gee. I went around the yard there and I couldn't handle it, dude. If Jack hadn't got me off, I would have just died.